Okay, so I'm recording on my camera, I'm recording on my phone because I just decided today that I'm going to start shooting a podcast. Or not start shooting, I'm going to start a podcast. And this all came about because I was on the phone with one of my friends, Shahadi, and we were talking about this currency interview I just dropped and how it's such different content, and I just always came up with these ideas and just never really branded it, and I needed to take it to the next step. So long story short, we were like, fuck it. He asked me, why don't you have a podcast? And it's something that everyone's been asking me. And the reason I never wanted to do a podcast is because I like being on camera. I've always loved being on camera. And then I liked writing. And then I was overthinking it and thought I'll have way too many different pieces of content. People are lazy. They're not going to want to go through everything. But now here I am doing it. So the podcast I want to do is I'm calling it Bottled Up because when I do my inspirational videos and when I do any videos on YouTube, whether it's inspirational or an interview, I have to get dressed up, the lighting has to be right, and then it has to be edited. When I write a blog, it has to have perfect grammar. I need to put thought into it. So my podcast, Bottled Up, is going to be an unfiltered, not perfect podcast, and that's what the content's going to be. I haven't really decided, how I'm going to show it. Like I said, I'm shooting right now, so I'll probably put the video on YouTube so people can still listen to it and see it. And right now, you guys, if you're watching or listening to this, I really need to get used to this. If you're listening to the actual podcast, I'm literally in my MeUndies onesie, haven't brushed my hair, it's half out, no makeup, shooting in my living room couch at home, and then I'm holding my phone to shoot the audio. But I really want it to just be unfiltered. It's going to be so cool because I don't have to be perfect. I can shoot this at 3 a.m, 4 a.m, whatever. But anyway, Bottled Up. So in 2015, when I was working for Ski TV, I came up with a segment called Bottled Up, and I started it with G-Eazy when he came in, and the point of the content was to let artists pick what they wanted to talk about. Whenever we do interviews, it's always us sending the questions, coming up with the questions, and getting those questions approved, and they're constantly doing interviews, and I was like, it would be so cool if I just let them pick what they wanted to talk about. So what do you have bottled up and what do you want to talk about? So in the podcast, it'll be either with a guest and they'll talk to me about what they want to talk about. And if it's just me, I'll just talk about shit I've been wanting to talk about, but I just haven't because it was either too personal or I wanted to make it perfect. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm super excited about it because I feel like I just was overthinking shit all this time. I've been doing content for 8 years now. Well, no. I've been doing interviews for 8 years. Well, I guess I've been doing my blog too for 8 years also because I started it in 2009 and I just was overthinking everything, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to just put everything out there. Like Shahadi said, I talk all the time. I always have something to talk about, and I just don't. And I think that the stuff that I don't share with you guys on social media or my YouTube or my blog, that is actually what's the coolest shit ever. And that's what I want to share with you guys on my podcast. And I want you guys to be able to ask me anything you want. And I don't know. I'll see where it goes. I think this is even just shooting this right now just feels weird as fuck because I keep looking at this camera. I'm trying to think of what to say and still trying to make it somewhat perfect, but I don't have to. And this one's really short. I know that podcasts are supposed to be an hour long or something, but I want to end each podcast where it's, with a lesson or a challenge or something. And for this one, it would be if you want to do something, just do it. don't overthink it. There's no way that it's going to be perfect no matter how much you try to make it perfect. So whatever that idea is, like, just start today. Look, I'm just starting this podcast randomly in my parents' house in the suburbs of Chicago, and I just started shooting, and I'm sure I'm going to nitpick everything about it and think, oh, I should have done this differently. I should have done that. I have my graphics person, Chris Morris, designing my logo right now, and the vision I had for it was either a bottle cap against a white background with teal writing or a teal background with white writing. I know I'm going to switch it up, and it's just, you have to just do things right away. You don't have to rush it, but at least take the steps to do it, because that's the thing. We always want to do things, and we're always waiting for everything to be perfect. So while we're waiting for this thing to be perfect, that's never going to be perfect anyway, we're just wasting more time. And then when more time is wasted, we just look back, 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and we think, damn, I should have just done that when I thought about doing that. I should have done this podcast. I should have been consistent with my content. I should have just done it right away in 2009 when I first started. Like, it's crazy. I just now, I think I'm on the 5th one in a row, 5 weeks in a row, I've dropped an inspirational video. But before that, the most consistent I had ever been was only 2 in a row or 3 weeks in a row, which is fucking terrible because, like I said, I started in 2009. So my lesson again, just start today. It's not going to hurt. And that's the thing. It's like we wait for things to be perfect. And it's like, okay, you start it, but it's like, who's going to see it right now when you first just start? It builds up. So you want to start things early and make those mistakes early, because you really can't make something perfect until you start doing it and you figure out what went wrong, what you liked and what you didn't like, because you can't just visualize it and like imagine it all the time. So I guess that would be my lesson. But yeah, bottled up with me. Well, I wouldn't say that on the line. Be bottled up with Jen DeLeon. I don't know what's going to happen with this podcast. I'm super excited. I can't wait till it grows where I can have people, call in, submit questions, but I'm going to figure it out. If there's anything that you guys want to know, any funny stories you want me to tell, let me know. You can find me on all my social media, Jen_DeLeon. Check out my website, jendeleon.com, all my interviews on YouTube, and make sure you guys check out that currency interview that I just dropped. I can't say today, but really today, even though I'm uploading the podcast later, because I don't even have a date of when I'm going to drop this yet. But make sure you watch that interview with Currency. He broke down some of his best tweets. I couldn't stop laughing throughout the interview. And yeah, I'm just so excited to... Can I even say be back? Probably not, because I haven't been consistent and done all this. But I'm just excited because I have this energy and this motivation that is on some whole other shit right now that I don't even know how to explain where it came from, but it will. And it's not just because it's about to be a new year or anything. Like, just a lot has happened in the past few months and just in my life. Oh, that's my rice. That just went off. So that's very Asian of me. The thing is, why is that so loud? Okay, that was my rice cooker. So it's time for me to eat. And if anyone watching this visually, I have this dog that's sitting in my lap. I don't have a dog. This is my cousin's dog that we're dog sitting. He just chills. My parents never let us get a dog when we were kids. And actually, every morning when I wake up to walk him or feed him, I think about, I'm so glad that my parents didn't let us get a dog. And yeah, so bottled up, Jen DeLeon. I will see you guys. I'm not going to see you guys. Fuck, this shit's so hard. I don't even know what the next thing is, but I'll be back next week. Bye.